There's a new LLM called DeepSeek. It's really scary. Listen to me, please. Do not install, don't use it. Here's what's happening. If you use the web app, it's stealing your passwords and personal information. If you install it on your phone, it takes your banking information and sends it to mainland China. If you use Android, it reprograms the phone app to only call your mother-in-law. On iPhone, it uses the MagSafe charging port to erase all USB sticks within 10 feet. Not only does it rip off the tags on your mattresses and pillows, but it's dumping wheat into our gluten-free brownies. Wheat, people! Not only that, it whispers sweet nothings into your SO's ears while you're hard at work. It dumps antifreeze into your fish tank. It's drinking all our beer. It doesn't do any of that. DeepSeek is a new LLM. It was developed by researchers in China. It's a public paper that's been published, and there are a bunch of things going on. I know, the market crashed. Why did it make the market crash? That was real. Yeah, that was real. All this stuff is coming from a little bit of truth. So the NASDAQ dropped almost 4% in a single day. Nvidia lost almost $600 billion in one day. Why? Well, let's talk about how Nvidia makes their money, first of all. They make GPUs, which we figured out are really good for training AI models. And AI models right now are costing between $100 million to $1 billion to train. And a lot of that money is going to Nvidia for their GPUs. Nvidia is making a lot of money selling those GPUs in the market right now. Well, this new LLM claims that they were able to train it for under $6 million. But the first thing is we think $1 billion, $6 million, Nvidia is sunk. Nobody's ever going to need any more of their hardware. Well, that's not completely true. Now, if you compare it to something like a Llama 3, which is the Meta their open source AI model, LLM model, we think it trained for somewhere around 60 million. So there's a lot of work that you have to do to get to the point where you're ready to do training, and boom, you do your training, and then it's 6 million or it's 60 million. You don't just do that and it's $100 million or it's $1 billion. And so that process still exists, that process of iteration and getting better, all that still happening. Now, 60 million versus 6 million, that's a big difference. We'll find out if the paper's true or not. It's public. Somebody will take it and turn it into real information and say, yeah, we also did it and it didn't work, or it did work. Now, Nvidia still doesn't go away if it's still trained for less than $6 million. What that means is we can make our models way better. And if we want to, we could throw more GPU at it and get even better. So we're looking to see what other harder problems we could solve using machine learning, and none of that is going away. I think part of this is you see Microsoft, Meta, all these companies investing tons of money in data centers with all these NVIDIA GPUs, so much so that they're investing in ways to get more power into those centers. So it's a big deal, and that's why the markets took a hit. They were freaked out that maybe you can just do this all for 6 million. It's not quite that simple. Then, why do we think it's stealing our personal information? Well, that comes to their privacy policy. Let me read a clip to you. Technical information, the information that they gather includes your device model, operating system, it's all normal stuff. Keystroke patterns or rhythms, IP address, and system language. Keystroke patterns or rhythms. Now that's the part that freaks everyone out. And what they think it means is that when you go into your bank and you type your log into your bank, they're getting those keystrokes and they know your password and you're logged into your bank now. Or when you open your phone and you swipe your password into your phone, that they got that swipe. And the way that iPhone, Android works is they sandbox each app into its own little arena, and it can't get out of that arena. That's the way these chips work. This is the way these processors are made in the hardware, and the operating system has control over each app that runs. If it does something bad that it's not allowed to do, we see it crash, but sometimes it's actually the operating system killing it because it wasn't allowed to do that thing. Now, maybe logging keystrokes is bad. Probably it just gives them a way to identify how big your hand is, or if you're younger or older or left-handed or right-handed. It could be interesting information, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything bad. Then the last one is your banking information. But I heard from a research group that they were able to do this. No, there was a research group and they did publish some findings, but they were not that DeepSeek is stealing bank information. What they found is with all these LLMs, if you're using ChatGPT and you ask it how to do something awful, it will refuse to answer the question. If you say, hey, how could I write an app that tricks grandmas into giving me their bank account information? It won't do it. These researchers found they were able to trick DeepSeek into teaching them how to do bad things, essentially. So DeepSeek's still not doing the bad thing. It just might answer your question on how you could do the bad thing, including tricking someone into giving you their bank information. It still doesn't force it. We're still not violating security things that exist now. It's just the guardrails of the LLM. So Nvidia stock tanked. It's back up a lot after that. That's some fear around, can we train models for way less, and is this all going to go around? Personal information, it's tracking how you type when you're in their app and how fast you type or how you pause between letters. It's tracking any of that stuff. Weird, maybe? Fine. And then it's not that they're taking bank information, it's that they don't have great guardrails and they let you do stuff you probably shouldn't do. So don't do it. I'm not saying DeepSeek is the best thing in the world. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a brand new, next level kind of large language model. We'll find out in time, but I just want to give you some good data on how these things work, how the real properties of this work, so you don't get stuck freaking out when it's a lot of misinformation and people not understanding how the technology really works.